There comes a moment in every man's life when he understands the world will not hand him respect on a silver platter. You are not entitled to dignity. You are not promised honor. And the people around you, some of them are observing, waiting, testing how much you will tolerate. Today that stops. What you are about to read is not guidance for the fragile. This is not inspiration for men who just want to feel good. This is a blueprint forged in the cold fire of strategy and psychological warfare. 7 ways to deal with those who dare to disrespect you. 7 methods to make yourself untouchable. By the time you finish this, you will not be the same man who started. You will become something far more dangerous. You will be someone who commands respect without ever asking for it. Read closely. Your transformation starts now. The first weapon you must master is one that costs nothing, yet crushes your enemies completely. Silence. When someone disrespects you, every nerve in your body wants to react, to defend yourself, to fire back with words that cut them down to size. That is exactly what they are hoping for. They want your energy. They want your attention. They want proof that they can control your emotions. The second you give them that reaction, you have handed them victory on a plate. The ruler who reacts to every insult is a ruler who loses his throne. You must become the man who answers disrespect with nothing but cold, unbreakable silence. Not the silence of fear, not the silence of confusion. This is the silence of a predator watching prey make a fatal mistake. When you say nothing, you create a vacuum. And in that vacuum, your enemy begins to suffocate in their own doubt. They expected a fight, they prepared for your anger, but your stillness is what they did not anticipate. It disturbs them. It makes them question themselves. It forces them to replay the moment again and again, wondering if they miscalculated. And they did. Most men are addicted to reaction. They believe strength is about the loudest voice, the quickest comeback, the most aggressive response. But real power works differently. Real power knows that silence is louder than any words ever could be. Your silence tells them they are not worth your energy. It shows their opinion has no weight in your world. It demonstrates that you are operating on a level they cannot touch. This is psychological warfare at its finest. You do not argue with fools. You do not explain yourself to people who already chose to disrespect you. You simply remove your attention, your words, your presence, and let them sit with the discomfort of knowing they could not move you. Practice this. The next time someone tries to disrespect you, say nothing. Watch their face. Watch the confusion. Watch the power shift. Understand something that will permanently change how you move through life. Your presence is not a right, it is a privilege. Your time, your energy, your focus, your loyalty, your conversation, these are currencies of massive value. And the second someone disrespects you, they prove they are unworthy of spending another moment in your orbit. This is where most men fail. They tolerate disrespect because they fear loss, they fear isolation, they fear the discomfort of cutting someone off. But it is better to be alone than surrounded by people who do not recognize your worth. When you remove access to your life, you are not being petty. You are being precise. You are showing that your world has standards, and anyone who drops below those standards is removed without drama, without noise, without explanation. This is cold. This is deliberate. This is necessary. The person who disrespected you was testing boundaries. They wanted to see how much they could get away with. By cutting them off completely, you send a message not only to them, but to everyone watching. You are not a man who negotiates with disrespect. You are not a man who gives endless chances to those who knew exactly what they were doing. Scarcity creates value. When you are always available, always forgiving, always overlooking how people mistreat you, you become cheap in their eyes. But when access to you is rare, when your circle is small, when people understand that one wrong move means permanent removal, suddenly they treat you differently. Suddenly your presence carries weight. Do not announce your exit. Do not explain yourself. Just disappear from their world like smoke. Let them wake up and realize what they lost. Let your absence teach them a lesson your words never could. The coldest form of revenge is not confrontation. It is elevation. It is rising so high that the people who once looked down on you now have to look up. Every second you spend thinking about those who disrespected you is a second stolen from your own growth. Every bit of energy you pour into anger is energy taken from your ambition. The wise strategist does not waste resources fighting battles that do not serve his future. He builds, he expands, he becomes so powerful that his enemies fade into background noise. Become obsessed with your evolution. Let the fire of disrespect fuel your hunger for more. More discipline, more knowledge, more strength, more wealth, more control. While they are talking about you, you are becoming untouchable. While they laugh at your dreams, you are silently constructing a life they cannot even understand. And here is the truth about elevation. When you rise, their disrespect turns into meaningless noise beneath you. The opinions of those below you carry no weight. Their words cannot reach you at the altitude you now live. This is not about proving them wrong. It is about proving yourself right. It is about becoming the man you were meant to be, not because of them, but in spite of them. Use their doubt as fuel. Use their disrespect as pressure that forges you harder. Every workout, every late night, every sacrifice, let it all be driven by one cold truth. You will not stay where they tried to place you, and when you reach the top, you will not need to say a word. Your results will speak louder than anything you ever could. When someone disrespects you, there is a strong urge to attack immediately, to expose their flaws, their secrets, their weaknesses. Resist that impulse. The master strategist does not strike first. He waits. He observes. He allows his enemy just enough rope to destroy themselves. People who disrespect others are rarely disciplined. They are driven by ego, insecurity, and a need to feel superior. And those same traits will eventually betray them. Your job is not to destroy them. Your job is to watch. People who act with arrogance will repeat their behavior. They will disrespect others. They will create enemies. They will burn bridges without realizing it. And slowly, the world begins to see them for who they truly are. You do not need to campaign against them. You do not need to speak their name. Time will expose them better than you ever could. Sometimes you can accelerate this without ever looking aggressive. You stay calm, you stay composed, you give them space to talk. You let them reveal their nature in front of others. You ask simple questions in the right setting and let them unravel themselves. While they lose control, you remain centered. And in contrast, their character becomes obvious. You walk away clean, they walk away exposed. Another powerful method is to sharpen your standards so tightly that disrespect never even reaches you twice. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. If you allow small disrespect, you invite bigger disrespect. If you correct behavior early, quietly, and firmly, you prevent it from growing. You do not argue. You do not explain yourself emotionally. You state your boundary once, calmly, and if it is crossed again, you remove yourself. That is power. Men who command respect are not loud. They are consistent. Their actions match their standards. They do not threaten, they demonstrate. People learn very quickly that crossing you has consequences, not because you yell, but because you vanish. And once people understand that access to you is fragile, they move carefully. They think before they speak. They measure their behavior. That is real control. Another way to deal with disrespect is to become unpredictable in your restraint. Most people expect anger, they expect drama, they expect emotional explosions. When you give them none of that, they lose leverage. You become unreadable, and unreadable men are dangerous. When people cannot predict your reactions, they cannot manipulate you. You move on your terms, not theirs. The final truth is this: respect is not something you demand. It is something you enforce through your behavior, through your silence, through your absence, through your growth, through your discipline, through your refusal to entertain nonsense. When people realize you are not desperate for approval, they start to treat you differently. When they see that you are focused, calm, and self-directed, they adjust. You do not need to threaten anyone. You do not need to posture. You simply become a man whose life is too valuable to be disrupted by small-minded behavior. And when you reach that level, disrespect becomes rare. And when it does appear, you already know exactly what to do. The contrast devastates them. People are always watching. They always have been. And when they witness you maintaining composure while your enemy sinks into pettiness, the verdict is delivered without a single accusation from your mouth. This demands patience. It demands control over your emotions. It demands the cold understanding that justice delayed is not justice denied. It is justice perfected. The exposure that comes from their own actions is exponentially more powerful than anything you could ever say. When you point fingers, people question your motives. When their own behavior condemns them, there is no defense, no argument stands. There is only the undeniable truth revealed by their own hands. So keep your cards close, observe carefully, give them time, give them space, give them rope, and when they ultimately fail, you will be standing tall, untouched, vindicated not by your words, but by their own undeniable unraveling. Patience is not weakness. Patience is the deadliest weapon of all. Reality is not merely what happens, reality is what people are convinced happened. This single truth has built empires, destroyed kings, and elevated the cunning above the strong. Throughout history, the wise have understood that perception is the ultimate battlefield. The person who controls the story controls the outcome. When someone disrespects you, a narrative is being written in real time. They are positioning themselves as dominant, framing you as weak, as someone who can be stepped on without consequence. If you let their version of events remain unchallenged, you have already lost the war before you even realized it started. But here is where strategic thinking gives you the advantage. You do not need to argue. You do not need to defend yourself with desperate words. You need to subtly shape how others perceive what happened. This is not about lying. This is about emphasis. This is about framing. This is about making sure the truth that benefits you is the truth that spreads. How do you do this? First, remain calm. The moment you react emotionally, you hand your enemy the brush to paint you as unstable, aggressive, or guilty. Calmness signals innocence. Calmness signals strength. Calmness makes people wonder why the other person is so worked up while you remain unmoved. Second, speak to the right people at the right moment. Not to gossip, not to complain, but to plant seeds of perspective. A few well-placed words to the right ears can shift an entire group's understanding of what truly happened. Third, let your actions tell your story. While they are running their mouths, you are showing up with excellence. You are demonstrating character. You are proving through daily actions that you are not the man they tried to portray. People trust what they see over what they hear. When what they see contradicts the narrative your enemy is pushing, doubt grows, doubt spreads, doubt dismantles their entire campaign against you. Masters of influence have always known this. Battles have been won not on the battlefield, but in the minds of observers. Reputations have been preserved not by truth alone, but by the strategic presentation of that truth. Think like a general commanding perceptions, not soldiers. Every word you speak, every move you make, every silence you maintain is a calculated move on this invisible chessboard. Your enemy may have thrown the first punch in the realm of narrative, but you will land the final strike. You will shape the story so masterfully that history remembers you as composed, strong, and unshakably dignified, and your enemy will be remembered as the fool who tried and failed to bring you down. Control the narrative, control your path. This is the game, and mastery means never being played. There comes a moment when silence alone is not enough. When elevation alone will not deliver the justice your mind and spirit demand, you must strike. But the intelligent man never strikes with fists. He strikes where it hurts the most: reputation. Reputation is the foundation of power. A man can rebuild wealth. A man can regain a position. But a man who loses reputation loses everything. Reputation is the currency that opens doors, builds alliances, and commands respect in every room. When someone disrespects you, they are betting their reputation against yours, assuming they can diminish you without consequence. Your task is to make that bet the costliest mistake of their life. This is not gossip. This is not petty rumors whispered in the shadows. That is the weapon of the weak. That is the tool of those lacking strategy. You operate on a higher plane. Strategic reputation damage is about positioning, about contrast, about making flaws visible through your brilliance. When you act with integrity, their lack of integrity becomes glaring. When you demonstrate loyalty, their betrayal is exposed. When you move with composure, their pettiness is magnified. You become the mirror, reflecting their failings to the world. But the truly Machiavellian mind goes further. Alliances matter. The person who disrespected you does not exist alone. They have connections, colleagues, friends whose opinions they value. Here your strategic mind works. You do not attack directly. You build relationships around them. You become invaluable to the people they depend on. You demonstrate character, reliability, worth, and integrity in spaces they cannot dominate. Slowly, their circle begins to notice the contrast. Slowly, whispers of doubt about their character spread, not from lies, but from truth you embody. And when the time is right, you may not need to say a word. Their allies will question them. Their friends will distance themselves. Isolation becomes complete. It may feel as though the universe has turned against them, but it is not fate. It is your calculated, silent precision. You strike where it hurts without leaving a trace. This is the art of strategic reputation warfare. It is not fast. It is not loud. It is not fueled by emotion. It is cold, deliberate, and devastatingly effective. Your enemy disrespected you because they assumed you were powerless. They assumed you lacked strategy. They assumed their reputation was untouchable. Show them how wrong they were. Not with anger, not with aggression, but with silent, systematic dismantling of everything they believed secure. When their reputation crumbles, they will search for someone to blame. They will never find you, yet they will know, deep down, that you were the one who outmaneuvered them. That knowledge will haunt them forever. The ultimate form of power is indifference. Everything you have learned leads to this point. This is the summit of mastery, the apex of control. True power resides in being untouchable, unreachable, eternally indifferent. The moment you stop needing anything from anyone, you become the most dangerous presence in any room. Think about why disrespect hurts. It hurts because you care. It hurts because some part of you values the opinion of the person attacking. It hurts because your identity still relies on external validation. And as long as that dependency exists, you remain vulnerable, always one harsh word away from disruption. What happens when you sever that dependency? When you reach a state of mind where the opinions of others hold no sway, when you look at someone disrespecting you and feel nothing, not anger, not pain, not the urge for revenge, only complete and total detachment, you become untouchable. This is the pinnacle of psychological mastery. This is the final form of the Machiavellian mind. The prince who needs nothing from his enemies cannot be manipulated. The man detached from the crowd cannot be controlled. You operate on a level beyond reach because you have cut the strings they once used to pull your emotions. Indifference is not pretending to be unaffected. It is genuinely arriving at a place where you truly do not care. This requires deep internal work. It requires confronting the parts of yourself still seeking approval, validation, or recognition. You must kill the inner part of yourself that still seeks validation from those who will never offer it. You must rewire your mind to draw your worth entirely from within. From your values, your vision, your standards, and nothing else. When you reach this state, something extraordinary happens. Your energy transforms. People can sense it. They feel that you are no longer playing the same game as everyone else. The person who once disrespected you will attempt again, expecting the reaction they received before, but this time there is nothing. You look at them as if they were a stranger. You respond with the emotional investment you would give to a stone lying on the roadside. And in that moment, they realize they have lost all influence over you. This is not about suppressing emotion. It is about transcending the need for others to treat you a certain way in order for you to feel whole. Your wholeness comes from within. Your strength comes from within. Your peace comes from within. When a man reaches that level of self-sovereignty, he becomes magnetic. He becomes untouchable. He becomes liberated. The world will always contain people who disrespect. There will always be small minds attempting to tear down those who challenge their fragile egos, but you are no longer affected by their attempts. You have stepped outside the game entirely. You observe it like a spectator, amused by the chaos, never caught in its current. This is the ultimate power, not wealth, not position, not influence. True power is needing nothing. True power is complete emotional independence. True power is indifference so absolute that nothing and no one can disturb the sanctuary of your mind. Machiavellian writings often describe princes conquering nations, but the greatest conquest is the mastery of oneself. When you dominate your own mind, when you become indifferent to the noise of the world, you achieve what most men spend their entire lives chasing yet never attain. You are untouchable. You are complete. You are free. Welcome to the final stage. Welcome to true power. You now possess 7 weapons most men will never hold. Use them wisely. Use them deliberately. Use them without hesitation when the moment demands it. If this stirred something deep inside you, leave a phrase in the comments. Write the words, "I am untouchable," and claim your new identity. Let the world know that you have arrived. Engage with this content. Follow this channel. Turn on notifications to never miss another lesson in power. The weak will scroll past. The strong will take decisive action. Which one are you? Remember, respect is never freely given. It is commanded. Step into your power. Become untouchable. The transformation begins in small, consistent choices. Every moment of silence when provoked, every act of self-discipline, every deliberate step away from toxicity shapes the man who is untouchable. You are not reacting, you are evolving, you are ascending. The same energy that once fed their ability to hurt you now fuels your growth. Their attacks lose potency because you no longer invest your essence into them. The more they attempt to provoke, the more they reveal their impotence, while your composure becomes your shield, your sword, and your standard. Freedom is the ultimate weapon. When you are emotionally independent, no one can control your state. No insult can break you. No attempt to demean can touch you. You operate from a place of clarity, not reaction. You are always several moves ahead. Others operate on instinct, fueled by ego, emotion, and short-term gratification. You operate on calculation, principle, and permanence. This is the domain of the Machiavellian mind. Indifference is not coldness, it is dominance. It is a power so pure and rare that most will never recognize it in the wild. Those who oppose you will fail to even understand what has surpassed them. The man who is untouchable does not need external validation. Praise does not lift him. Criticism does not wound him. Disrespect does not provoke him. Every action, every response, every inaction becomes a statement of power. You do not seek attention, you command it. You do not seek approval, you define standards. You do not seek revenge, you rise beyond it. Every interaction becomes a reflection of your sovereignty. The world reacts, but you remain unchanged. This is mastery. This is self-rule. This is the pinnacle of strategy, psychology, and human understanding. Indifference is not apathy. It is supreme focus applied to what matters. You conserve energy where others squander it. You speak where others shout. You act where others fume. This allows you to build silently, ascend quietly, and dominate effortlessly. Every insult they throw, every attempt to undermine, every petty action becomes fuel for your progression. They become irrelevant. Their attacks lose meaning. Their judgment carries no weight. And in this void, your power becomes visible. Not to them, they cannot comprehend it, but to the world that observes, consciously or unconsciously. They see a man untouchable, a presence that bends reality not through violence, but through mastery of self.